and English, and they are equally important. So the language you're best at in is going to be considered your first language. But they can only confirm your performance after you do what they call IELTS, International English Language Testing Services. So you sit for an exam, and if you're coming for immigration, then you'll sit for general. If you're coming for studies, it's going to be academics. So there is that. Then there is what they call CELPIP. I won't say that one in full, I'm used to saying it in short. But the one common to us in Uganda through British Council is IELTS. So they're going to grade you, of course, as per your speaking, reading, listening, and writing. So the highest you can get is CLB 10, and then CLB 9 is equally very, very good. CLB 8 is good. CLB 7, if you get below CLB 7, then you can't qualify. You'll be ineligible to apply for express entry. So you should be able to express yourself fully into the language that you're good at. If you know both languages, you're a hot cake. I mean, with other factors, like there is no factor in isolation. But if you know French and English, you're a hot cake, as in you're bound to score like more points. So for language, the first language, the maximum points you can get is 24. And for second language, the maximum points you can get is 4. And then we have adaptability. How fast are you going to assimilate into the Canadian system? They're going to look at the factors like if you have Canadian qualification, if you have visited Canada before, if you have a relative in Canada, and like those factors will give you 5 points, but the maximum you can get there is 10. But there's also having a spouse. If you have a spouse and that spouse also sits for the English test or French, then and passes at least with CLB 5, then you're going to get also 5 points. The maximum you can get on adaptability is 10 points. Then there is employment. Employment, if you have arranged employment, it gives you maximum 10 points. I've already talked about employment and how difficult it is. I hardly consult people who have employment. So the maximum points you can get under Federal Skilled Worker program is 100, but you need 67. If you get 67 and above, then you submit your profile into the express entry, which system will also use what they call comprehensive ranking system to award you points according to your profile. There's similar factors, but in a different way, comprehensive ranking system. There's also an opportunity through which somebody can come into Canada through what they call self-employment program. It's an opportunity that I see most Ugandans can use to come to Canada. The only disadvantage is, which I won't mind as me, is it takes longer. There's also an opportunity through which somebody can come into Canada through what they call self-employment program. So it's kind of different from what we call the self-employment we call here in Uganda. You know, Uganda too, you understand, and there are hardworking people here, but not all the occupations fall under self-employment program in Canada. So they've listed the occupations that can fall under self-employment. So, but the issue is, self-employment is when you have a business in art, in culture and athletics. For self-employment, you need to have owned a business that has existed for at least 2 years in culture or athletics. So either business in your country. Now for these programs, you're in your country and you're applying for permanent residence in Canada to come to Canada. So these programs, you either have a business or you should have competed at world-class level in athletics or culture. So athletics, it can mean any sport. You know, Olympic medals, you know, all those people. And then in culture, if you're an artist, you've competed at world-class level, like they know you, you can apply under that program. So I mean, it's not easy to make it at world class level, you know, competition. But what is very common for us here is owning the businesses. Cut businesses, much as they say art and culture, bigenderamu ebintu bingi. For example, if you're a sports teacher, but you own a business. Remember, I said if you have to be self-employed, which means maybe unless you're a freelancer or you own a business. So music teachers, trainers in any way, in athletics or any sports, those people who own those businesses can qualify. Then we also have journalists, freelancer journalists can also apply through that. Editors, producers, so many. But the condition is you have to be self-employed. And then there are also graphic designers, and you know, when they talk of culture, you may think that those occupations are not in there, but they are there. The list is long. Like, I can't even exhaust it here. It's very long. So, but the good thing with that program is it's not as competitive as the Federal Skilled Worker Program. For self-employment, you need 35 points. And for 35 points, as long as you've owned that business, even for 5 years, 6 years, you get the 5 points. So it's very easy to get those 35 points as compared to, you know, Federal Skilled Worker, whereby they need 65 out of 100. So it's an opportunity that I see most Ugandans can use to come to Canada. The only disadvantage is, which I won't mind as me, is it takes longer, because right now they say that the processing time, if you check online, is 42 months, but who cares, seriously? And the condition is you should be able to set up the similar business in Canada. If you're a person who uses talent, the Olympic guys and so on, then you should be able to continue in Canada. So that is the condition. But of course, for all these programs, you should be able to take care of yourself when you reach Canada, because the objective of these programs is to ensure that you get established in Canada economically. You're not coming to be a Canadian government burden. No. Steady government, Uganda enjoy because even the program is expensive, right? So before part of the assessment, they look at your bank statement. Are you able to take care of your family and yourself while in Canada? And of course, when you're coming as a self-employed person with talent, you don't need a lot of capital, right? And some of them you don't need a lot of capital, but they look at what they call or the low income, like the lowest income that is necessary enough, let me say, to take care of you and your family, and they look at that for 6 months. Yeah, for those who want to go, Canada has a population of 37 million people, but it's the second largest country in the world, which means there are people. Atenga, there's a good almost 19% are seniors. So of course, bojjako n'abaana kisigaza like a small percentage here working age group to support these others ngantono. So they really want people to come and work. However, it's not that nja kubulira abantu amazima. You won't just land in Canada, a new country, and then you land on your dream job. Techiriyo. It's a new country, different system, different culture. So sometimes you have to go back to school or kongerako ka qualification. But if you go and you just want to survive, the jobs are there. Survival jobs are there. Seriously, like even tomorrow, next day you can't get it. But if you want, like I was an accountant, I am still, I had to go back to school, you know, to do the Canadian. I had SCCA. I had to do to become a CGA and also become a CPA. That's when I could comfortably also compete for finance manager jobs and controller jobs. Otherwise, I'll be you know, looking for jobs at a lower level of an accountant. So that's the same thing. Ate n'ekintu tekikolera buli omu alina omukisa gwe mazima. Siganye maybe eri abasiraanamu siganye. Buli omu alina omukisa gwe. But on average, it's a country of opportunities, and you like the sky is the limit. I always tell people Canada si gulu. Canada eri kunsi nga any other country. Only heaven is perfect. So bw'otuuka eyo yiga ekintu bwe kikola. Nawe the system olabe nti how do I get on top of my game. If you want to invest, You do the market survey, do everything. Like, it's a world full of opportunities. It's a country full of opportunities. You'll get the job at least to pay you minimum wage if at all toyagala kwongerako kusomako, and if you want to stay at that level. And minimum wage, like in Alberta, is $15 per hour. So each province has minimum wage. You can survive. Yeah, but if you want to excel, then you put in more, right? Like anywhere else. Once again, this is Proscovia Turyasiima Nabafu. I'm a licensed immigration consultant working for Nabafu Immigration Consultants in Canada, based in Canada. And if you want to contact us, actually my direct number is +1 780 200 6915. Please use WhatsApp text. And then you can also check our website, www.nabafuimmigration.ca, or send us an email, info@nabafuimmigration.ca. We shall get to you and give you guidance on how you can start your journey to Canada.